Okay, so today, guys, we're going to go through a full lower body session, okay? This is going to be great for those of you that are splitting up your sessions upper lower. So maybe you're doing like 4 sessions a week, maybe 5, 6. This is going to be great for those of you that just want to do a session dedicated to your lower body, okay? This session will hit pretty much every key muscle. And the important thing to note is that if you're unsure of like technique, I'll go through a few pointers like throughout this video. But if you need a little bit more specific advice, then check out some of my previous videos or some other people's videos on some of the exercises that we're going to be doing. Okay, so obviously I'm going to assume that most of you have started with a warm-up. Okay, so you've done your warm-up and then we're going to be going into our main set. So maybe you've done a couple warm-up sets on some of these exercises. So for example, we're going to start with a squatting pattern. So maybe you've done a few lighter weights with that and done your mobility. So I'm just going to assume that you guys have done that. And maybe I'll put out a mobility video later for those of you that don't really know how to do a mobility at the start of your session. But the first set we're going to start with is a superset of heel elevated squats and RDLs. When I do these squats, I'm going to show you from the side and I'm also going to spin around so that you can see it from the front to try and get an idea of the technique. But for the first set, I'm going to do it from the side. Okay, so set 1, getting into your back squat position. I'm going to try and make sure that on the way down on these reps, we're keeping a pretty slow tempo. We're aiming for about 2 seconds on the way down, maybe as high as 3, but we're going to start with hopefully about 2 seconds. So big brace at the top. Controlling down, 2, driving straight up, keeping it all in the quads. Controlling down for 2 seconds, driving back up. Okay, we're going to be going for 8 to 10 reps here. Obviously, it depends on the weight that you've loaded up. Maybe you fail at about 6 or 7. Maybe this is the first time you've done this exercise, so you need to play around with the weight. That's okay. Okay, so there's set 1. Then we're going to rest about 30 seconds to a minute before we do our RDLs. Now the RDLs you can do with a barbell, or I'm going to choose to use dumbbells today, but you can do it with a barbell, okay? But we're going to rest about 30 seconds to a minute in between just to recover, even though we're kind of using different muscle groups here. So this exercise is going to hopefully be hitting just your quads, okay? A little bit of glutes, but mainly we're going to be focusing on hitting the quads with this exercise. And then with the RDLs, we're going to be focusing on hitting the glutes and the hamstrings, okay? So you're getting like the best of both worlds with this superset, okay? So it's been about 30 seconds. So now I'll do this side on. I think it's the best way to do it. So feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointing forwards, and then we're hinging back, keeping our knees stacked above our ankles, controlling down till I feel a big stretch, and then driving back up. Again, aiming for about 2 to 3 seconds on the way down, driving back up. That's 3. Controlling down for 1, 2, up. That's 4. 1, 2, up. 1, 2, drive up. 1, 2, drive up. 7, 1, 2, drive up. 8, 1, 2, 9, 1, 2, 10. Okay, so that's your 10 reps. Now, with these exercises, depending on the weights that you're loading on, I want the reps to be anywhere from like 5 to 12. I'm going for like 8 to 10 today. But yeah, as long as you're getting like close to failure, and whatever, depending on the weight you put on, that could be at 5 reps, that could be at 10 reps, that could be at 7. But either way, as long as you're doing between 5 to 12, you're achieving the same thing as long as you get close to failure. All right. So again, we're going to leave about 30 seconds to a minute to rest in here. And this next set, I'm going to do front on so you can see. what it looks like from the front. But the most important thing with this exercise is that we try to think about going straight up and down. So when I come down, is at the bottom, my hamstrings are against my calves. My hamstrings are crushing my calves at the bottom, and then from there, it'll be driving straight up. What we don't want to see is at the bottom, our hips raised first. Okay, so it's been about 30 seconds now to a minute. Go back into another set here. Now, what you might find is that you can't get, if you worked really hard in your first set, because we're not resting very long, in this set, you might not be able to hit the same amount of reps. In fact, you probably shouldn't be able to. All right, so then from there, same thing, straight down, hamstrings against the calves at the bottom, driving up, okay? Same control on the way down. 1, 2, driving up. 1, 2, driving up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, just trying to work as close to failure as you can. 1, 2. Good. 1, 2. Okay. Then I'm going to rest it there. But again, it's important that you guys, when you're doing these sets, you're getting as close to failure as you can. That's how we see progress. If you're, let's say you do a set and you feel like you have about 5 reps in reserve, so you finish and you think, probably could have done about 5 more reps there. Chances are that's essentially just a warm-up set. There's still benefit in doing it, but nowhere near as much as if we're getting to like 4, 3, 2, and maybe even 1 rep to failure. Maybe even it is failure. Maybe there's no reps left. So again, just making sure that we're working hard on these. Don't stop just because I stop. If you have more reps, do more reps. You can pause the video, finish off your reps, and then make sure you're having that rest in between, okay? That's been about 30 seconds to a minute. Going back into our RDLs. So, same thing. I'll do this front on this time. You've seen side on, so controlling down, 2 seconds, driving up. 1, 2, up. 1, 2, up. 1, 2, up. 2, up. 1, 2, up. 1, 2, up. So I'm going to rest there. That's a couple less than the previous set. But again, it should be like that. If you're working hard, and it's more important that you work hard at the start of the session compared to the end of the session. I want you to work hard throughout all of it, but when you're feeling freshest, that's where you can get a lot out of your muscles, okay? So I want to make sure you're working hard at the start. So ideally, let's say we start that first set of those heel elevated squats. We did 10 reps. Next set might be 8 or 9. Next set after that might be 6 or 7, so we expect to like drop off, okay? So this will be the last set here, and maybe with this set, we can only get 6 or 7. I think I might stop at like 7. We'll see. Okay, so again, 30 seconds to a minute, and then we'll go back in. All right, so hitting the quads again. Same process, getting yourself set up. Again, making sure you show that you have control of the weight on the way down, okay? So taking a big brace at the top, controlling down for 2, driving back up, controlling down, 2, back up, 1, 2, back up, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Couple more here. 1, 2. Last one. 2. Back up. Good. Okay. So there you go. Now, for those of you that maybe don't have access to a barbell, you can do this with dumbbells as well. You can hold a dumbbell here and do the same thing. okay? Or you could do body weight and just do a lot of reps. Again, as long as you're getting close to failure, you're still achieving the same thing. It's just a lot quicker to achieve failure when the weight's heavier. Okay, so again, 30 seconds to a minute, and then we're gonna finish off our last set here. So doing 3 sets, aiming for anywhere between like 8 to 12 reps. Doesn't matter if you go as low as 5 or if you need to go over 12. Again, just trying to get to failure. And then we're gonna go into hip thrusts and front foot elevated lunges. Again, one of those is gonna hopefully prioritize glutes and hamstrings, the other quads, all right? So let's go for it. Into these RDLs, do it from the side this time. Last set. 2, drive it up. 1, 2 on the way down, back up. 1, 2, back up, that's 3, 2, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna go for one more here. Controlling down. 7. There we go. So again, slight drop off from set 1 to set 3. Like the weights go down a little bit. That's what we want. It shows that we're working hard. Okay, so. Right, now let me set up for our hip thrust. So I'm just gonna use the same weight. But obviously, if you need to change your weights and set up, just pause the video right now, get yourself set up for your hip thrust and a front foot elevated lunge. So hip thrust, it's gonna be here, and then let me just grab, I think we'll be able to keep this just here. I'm gonna raise this up a little higher for myself. I think this should work. So one thing to know about when we go into this lunge is the higher you go, the easier it will kind of be. And the lower you go, the harder it will be. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Ideally, we stay relatively low because it's just gonna help us go through a deeper range. But if you need to raise it up just to make it a little easier, then please do so. All right, so with these hip thrusts, again, if you need to, do warm-up sets. You might not need to now because you've just done RDLs and the heel elevated squats, but if you want to, you can do a couple of warm-up sets before your top weight. And then we're gonna position ourselves on the floor, rolling the bar over, making sure it's nice and central. Get the nice soft part onto your hips. And then from there, bringing your feet shoulder width apart, kind of same position as those RDLs. And then from here, we're gonna think about driving our hips up while keeping just below our shoulder blades on the end of this pad, okay? Again, we're gonna go for roughly 10 reps, okay? So here we go. Driving up and then controlling down. 1, 2, driving up. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, good. 2, good. About halfway, keeping that same control, squeezing at the top. 8, 9, 10. And again, you might not get to 10, you might do more than 10, but again, it's just getting to failure. All right, so that's exercise 1. Again, we're gonna leave 30 seconds to a minute in between this and our next exercise. I'm just gonna go really light on this exercise. So we're gonna go for some 6s. Now, what I'm gonna show you next time I do the hip thrusts is a way for you to make it harder. And it's basically gonna target the outside of your glutes. Okay, so when we get into position for our next hip thrust, we're gonna need a band, okay? You don't have to do this, but if you want that extra bit of work and target another muscle, then we can use this band. Okay. So again, 30 seconds to a minute. If you have more time to rest, please do so. Like just pause the video and rest a little bit longer. But the minimum really between these exercises is 30 seconds. Okay, it doesn't have to be super precise. And obviously it's like kind of time permitting. If you need to work a little bit faster, then just work a little bit faster, have a little bit less rest if you need to, but ideally it's no less than 30 seconds, all right? Okay, so now, obviously we're gonna have to do both legs. So when we start this, start with your weaker side. So for me, at the moment, that's my right. I have an injury on my right side. So I'm gonna start on the right. And then we're thinking about driving the knee forwards. All the pressure is in this front foot, and then we're coming back up, okay? And we're just gonna go through this again. Hopefully like 8 to 10, maybe more. Same control, okay? I'm driving that knee forwards, controlling down, pushing back up. Six, 7, 8. Okay, I'm gonna rest there because I'm starting to feel the injury flare up a little bit, so I just want to take it a bit easy. Then we're gonna do the same on this side. So even if this is your stronger leg, if this leg can do another 20 reps, doesn't matter. I'm still gonna do the exact same as what I did on that right leg. Because ideally, in time, it won't necessarily be my weak leg anymore. It will be, as equal as we can get it. It will never be exactly equal because we always favor one side. Just doing the same now on your stronger leg. Last one. Pretty sure I did 8. 8. There we go. So again, 30 seconds to a minute rest. But the important thing to note about those lunges is that if you notice, I am flexing a lot around the knee, and that's again to try and hopefully target the quad a little bit more than the glutes. And to make sure that the glutes are less active and less stretched is we don't want to lean our torso forwards. We actually want to stay relatively upright and just thinking about driving that knee forwards. So if you're deciding to use a band for this next set of hip thrusts, what you want to do to challenge yourself a little bit, so get it, step into it, and then get it just above your knees, okay? It's going to be just above your knees. Now, when we do this set, the technique is exactly the same, but now all I want you to think about doing is not letting that band pull you in. Okay, you've got to be consciously thinking about pushing it out the whole time. This will make it a little bit harder, okay? You will notice this. So, other than that, getting into the same position. It's been roughly 30 seconds to a minute. So, now when I do this set, again, I'm pushing this band out the whole time, okay? On the way up, on the way down, I'm just keeping it pushed out. Here we go. Yes, I'm really feeling the outside of my glutes firing up right now. Just gonna go for 8 here. Yeah, definitely much tougher. Even with this lightweight, just having that band on there makes such a big difference. So if you gave that a shot, let me know how much harder it was, because yeah, definitely makes it a lot harder for me. Okay, so again, 30 seconds to a minute, resting, but if you have the time, maybe you want to rest up to like 3 minutes. But because we're using different muscle groups like a little bit, when you're doing one exercise, you're technically resting from the other. So even though I rest 30 seconds from this to this exercise, technically when I was doing this exercise, I was resting from that exercise. So whenever you do your supersets, it's best to try and do opposite muscle groups. So agonist and antagonist, which would be like quads, and then your hamstrings. And your glutes. So just make sure that your superset isn't ideally the same muscle group. All right. And then the other important thing to note with this hip thrust is that in terms of how far away your feet should be, what we want to see is about a 90-degree angle in the knee at the top of the rep. Okay, so just bear that in mind. But let's now go back into our lunges. So again, starting with your weaker leg. Maybe I only get like 7 this time, we'll see. Again, keeping that same control, 2-3 seconds on the way down. Okay, so we go 7 now. Okay, 7 there. And again, just remembering that you can go higher with this. You can go lower, but I wouldn't recommend going too low. This might be the lowest that I would ever really go. And then from there, just trying to increase the weight if I need to make it harder. Okay. All right, we'll have a little rest here. Make sure you're thoroughly hydrating throughout your session. But after these 2 sets, we'll be done with these, and then we just got 2 more exercises to go through. I'm going to choose not to do it with the band this time. I don't want to make it harder for myself. I'm just going to be lazy and not do it this time, but you can also do the band if you want to. So, getting into position. Last set here. Same technique as before. Trying to maybe get about a 90-degree angle in that knee at the top. You've got to rest there at 7. Now, I did a video on this recently on my Instagram, I believe. Maybe I'll upload it to my YouTube as well. But in terms of tempo, the reason why we go slow on the way down is mainly when we're doing like 3 seconds plus on the way down is for skill acquisition. It's taking, going through the motion a lot slower is going to help you get more familiar with the movement and just help teach you that skill a little bit better than if we're rushing it. However, once we do have the skill down and we're pretty efficient and we can control that weight, I would actually recommend going a little bit faster, because the main thing that's going to contribute to your muscle growth is going to be how close to failure you get and the load. And if you're doing really long eccentric, so on that way down, that tempo is maybe like 4, 5, 6 seconds, you're just going to fatigue and not be able to push as much load. You're either going to have to go lighter, or you're going to fail earlier and not actually push greater total load. So ideally, maybe the maximum I would go once I've learned the skill is like 2 seconds. You can even go down as like for 1 second, but the key is making sure that you're in control of the weight and the weight is in control of you. All right, that's why tempo matters. All right, so now finishing off here, I'm just gonna go for, I only do 6 reps here, but again, you just go to failure. Last one for 6. And doing the same on the other side. Okay, there's the 6. All right. So you rest up when you get the chance to, and I am going to set up for our last 2 exercises. I'm just going to move this out of the way for now. I don't need this bar anymore. So our last 2 exercises, one thing that we kind of been missing in this workout is calves. So we're going to do some calf raises. Now these calf raises, I'm going to do, actually no, I won't do them body weight. But if you're brand new to these calf raises, I'm going to show you how to do it with 2 feet and then how to do it with 1. And then the reason I'm putting the plates here is so that I can hold on to the side of this frame for like stability. All right. So starting with the calf raiser, I'm actually just going to quickly show you the 2 ways you can do it. So if you're starting out with this and you want to just do two legs at the same time, it's obviously going to be a bit more time efficient as well, but you're just going to be driving up from there. So coming all the way down, feeling the stretch in the calf, and then driving as high up as you can. That's how you do it with 2. But I personally do it with 1. Again, I start on my weaker side. And I'll hold, so whatever leg I'm going to do, so I'm going to do my right leg first, I'm going to hold the weight in my right hand, okay? But again, just going to aim for like 8 to 12 reps and holding onto this for balance, but I'm not pushing against it to help it up. I'm just holding onto it to make sure that I stay balanced, because I don't want the reason I fail this set because I slip and I fall over. So here we go. So controlling down, driving up as high as you can. Controlling down for those 2 seconds, 2 to 3, driving back up. Really letting it stretch down at the bottom. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. And then do the same on the other side. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. And then the last thing as well to note about tempo, just while we're resting here, is so on the way down when you're fighting gravity, that's where I'm telling you to have like 2 to 3 seconds or for your tempo. But when we're going against gravity, I actually always recommend, no matter if you're a novice or advanced, I actually pretty much always recommend going as fast as possible, like driving that weight up as fast as possible. Now, again, if that means that you like fail the technique a little bit, then I would maybe like bring you back and just go a little bit slow on the way up. But the reason we want to go fast is because when we push a weight as fast as possible, we activate our fast twitch fibers, and they have a great capacity for growth. So if you want to see greater, more meaningful results, you want to like try and push that load fast so that you activate those fast twitch fibers and then get the growth in those as well. So that's why I recommend going fast on the way up. So the last exercise that we're going to be doing, so we're partnering this with everyone's least favorite. If you've never heard of it, you're about to wish you never heard of it. It's a Bulgarian split squat. So where we get into position is sitting on the end of the bench, Again, we're going to start with our weaker side. So I'm going to go up onto my right leg first. So I bring my left foot back, holding onto my weights, bring myself up, and then my left foot is going to go onto that bench, okay? All right, and then from there, all we're going to do is control it down as low as we can get, drive it up, okay? Eight on that side, and then same position for the other leg, controlling down, driving up. Okay, there's the 8. Whew. Yeah, even with a lightweight, that is tough. So the important notes about this is that when we're stood up, we have one foot back here, one foot in front, all the weight should be on that foot in the front. I want you to think 90% of your body weight should be going through that leg, okay, going through that foot. The other thing to note is, because we're partnering with a calf exercise, you can choose really whether you prioritize targeting more quads or more glutes with this. And so all we have to do to really change that is, again, quads, we're trying to flex at the knee. And then with our glutes and hammies, we're trying to flex at the hip. So when I get into position, I'll quickly show you. If I'm going to try and target quads, I'm going to stay upright and I'm going to come down till I'm fully as flexed here as possible, then driving up. Whereas if I want to target a bit more glutes, I'm going to lean my torso forwards and I'm going to sit my hip back ever so slightly. So now I'm not flexing here a lot, but it's coming into my glute a lot more. Okay. All right. Take a quick sip of water. So we've got two more sets on each. Again, even though this is getting close to the end of the session, still got to push hard, still got to make these sets count. All right, so let's do this. With these calf raises, you can see if I can get to 7 here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I got carried away there. Went for 9 instead. Do the same on the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Losing my balance. 6, 7, 8, 9. Here we go. Okay, so I'm resting up. And again, you choose whether or not you want to make this quad biased or glute biased. I personally am going to make it quad biased because I'm trying to slowly build up the strength of my quads because of a couple injuries. So I'm just slowly try and work on that. But just 2 more sets. Actually, 1 more set there, 2 more sets here, okay? And if you want to, again, time permitting, you can do more sets on these exercises. You can do these same exercises and you can do them for as many sets as you want. Common amount of sets normally just tends to be like 3 or 5, but you could just do 10 sets of an exercise that you really, really like. It's up to you. And then the other thing to note as well is, so for example, with that calf raise, first set, I think I did 7. Next set, I did 9. What that tells me is that first set, I did not work hard enough, which in truth, I didn't. I'm just taking it a little bit more easy today. But if you're trying to work like to high intensity, your second, third set should never really be more than your previous set. The only time really that will happen, and it like not necessarily be that you're not working hard enough, is that the muscle that you're working in whatever exercise it is takes a little bit longer to get like fired up. And so what that might tell you is that you need to do more warm-up sets on it before you go into your main sets. So yeah, if you think it's because like you did actually try and work hard, but yet somehow second set, you still did more than your first, then next time you come to do that exercise, do a couple warm-up sets on it. So here we go. Controlling down, driving up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm only going to go to 6 here. Do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Last set on each again. Resting 30 seconds to a minute, maybe more depending on your time. But hopefully if you're following along with this session, hopefully you feel like you got something out of it and that by the end of it, your entire lower body is feeling pretty fatigued. Now, in truth, my lower body sessions, if I was at a public gym, would probably look a little different to this. I very much love to use machines for my legs, like leg extension, leg curls. However, I don't really have any of these machines here. And oftentimes people don't actually have access to those machines either. Some people maybe just have it in their garage and they just have a barbell and some dumbbells. So this will work well for all of them, but you can do similar supersets, again, focusing on agonist and antagonist. So maybe I'll partner leg extension machine with a leg curl machine. Yeah, so if you have access to machines, I highly recommend using them. I think it's good to do compound lifts like outside of a machine. So rather than doing a leg press, I'll do an actual squat. It teaches you a lot more doing that. But there is still benefit in doing a leg press. All right, last set here. 1, controlling down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 7 on this one. And then do a 7 on the other side. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. There we go. All right. So again, 30 seconds to a minute rest, and then we'll finish off our last exercise. But put away some weights while I wait. Again, if you need to know some of the technique on these exercises, admittedly, I haven't put up every single exercise, but hopefully like some of the advice during this session has helped. And then if you need to, you can always YouTube the name of the exercises that I said and look at technique videos from other people or myself if I've done a video on it. However, right now I haven't done a lot. I think I've mainly done like deadlift and bench press. So there are plenty of other and probably better YouTubers out there that you can watch and see for advice. But let's go into our last set here. Just gonna go for 6 again. Okay, There we go. That there is your full session. Now up to you whether or not you do a cool down. And again, you can vary it slightly depending on how much time you have. You can have more rest if you really want to make sure the intensity is super high in every set. And you can do more sets if you want to get more volume in. And maybe you can add a couple exercises after the ones that I've just shown you. Again, it's all kind of time permitting, all right? But hopefully this helps you, and good luck in your next workout, everyone. Well done.